What's up, YouTube? How y'all doing? Today we're reacting to insane female teacher has with male student and ruins his life. Like, I don't know the age or not, but like, did she give him syphilis or something? Like, I don't AIDS or what?
So I assume that pretty much all of you have gone to some type of school in your life.
Like, how does that ruin your life? You know what I'm saying?
And some of you may have already graduated and are in college or working or whatever. But regardless, I feel like all of us have gone to school in some way or the other. I guess even if you've been homeschooled your entire life, you'll still be able to understand what's going on.
The kid from Shameless plays this, huh?
Like,
is the actor for this game?
In a way where you can
I think that's crazy. I don't.
Going on. So we're gonna be taking a look at several different stories, and I want you guys to really pay attention to the way that these stories are being written. The language
there's several.
That's being used. And also, I'm gonna put some emphasis on the consequences that the women in these stories have faced, because as we all know, every single one of us, if the person being discussed is a man, he would get Thanos snapped into oblivion by everyone.
100%.
Which, of course, is the right response. Yet, for some reason, the same thing isn't happening to these women. So let's get into the first story. So here's the teacher in question. Now, I know exactly what a lot of you are thinking looking at her. I too had the unfortunate luck of only having teachers who belonged at a museum. All right, I had the most miserable teachers known to man. Nothing but 45-year-old married.
I mean, she ain't bad, but she ain't all that.
Short haircut, dusty ass female teachers. That's what I had growing up. But let's chill on that for a moment. I only bring
had
up
like
the looks
one or two that
it's
was
be
like
important for something I have to say in a bit. Now, this is one of the headlines
what?
That I came across.
Tomball
ISD teacher arrested for allegations of inappropriate behavior with students. Notice the very interesting choice of words in this title. It was purposely written in a way to make the situation not seem as serious as it actually is. I just wanted to point that out. Let's take a look at what exactly happened in this story. Marka Bodine, 31, has been charged with continuous abuse of a child in connection with the case. According to the affidavit, a search of both Bodine's phone and the former student's phone showed several messages and images that were exchanged between them. Some of the images were explicit according
How
to
old
the
are these
affidavit.
kids?
The former student told investigators that Bodine befriended him by playing an online video game and later began texting him.
What? Wait, yo, he met her online even though that was his teacher?
The affidavit, the former student told investigators that they began exchanging explicit images and did it shortly after he turned 13. Now, first of all, this kid must have had a Hall of Fame badge when it comes to spitting game to a woman. Or the other scenario, which I think is way more likely, is that this woman realized that the person on the other side of the mic was a kid and proceeded to control, influence, and ultimately manipulate him into the situation that he now finds himself in. I'm also wondering if they were playing Among Us, because I can't picture a 31-year-old teacher hopping on some COD. They must have been playing Animal Crossing or Club Penguin. If she was running Warzone
facts,
duos,
honestly,
I would be very surprised. I might need to see what class setup she was working with. But anyways, continuing with the story, according to the affidavit, the former student said his relationship with Bodine continued for 3 years and that Bodine moved into his apartment complex after her divorce. The former student also told investigators.
So she was clapping, or the student was clapping her while she was married too. Information.
Bodine did it in her classroom and her car several times. On top of all the things that she did with this kid, she also moved into his apartment complex. That is peak weirdo behavior, if I must say. She went through an entire financial and legal process to get an apartment and be neighbors with a 13-year-old. And she also posted her $100,000 bond. Basically, the judge said that if she can pay $100,000, she would be released from jail. In a lot of cases, when dealing with dangerous individuals, the judge would straight up deny this bond, and the criminal would have to stay in jail until their next court date. However, this teacher was able to pay the $100,000 and has been released from jail. If this was a male teacher, he would have his bond denied. The man would be sitting in jail until his next hearing. He would not be allowed to show his face in public ever again. The same rule should apply to this woman as well. She should be sitting inside a jail cell and not in her house.
Bodine was a teacher at Tomball Intermediate School for 7 years. According to court
look at everyone just looking at her.
One of her former 6th grade students was harassing her and threatened to harm himself.
As you saw, the victim tried to injure himself, which only means one thing. This entire situation has fucked this kid psychologically. The city police chief said,
Wow.
quote, "It was definitely a cry out for help. He had reached out to a school and he reached out to the police department as well. So I think he just became overwhelmed with it and reached out to us. As the public, we don't know exactly what was being said between her and the kid. I'm sure that there are so many things in this case that are being hidden from the public eye. This teacher
For
must
sure.
have played the craziest mind games with this kid. He reported this to both the school and the police department, which means one thing, that she must have
wanted out.
damaged him emotionally to get what she wanted. The power dynamics here is that she's a teacher and he's a student. You can obviously see that she is in a position of power, and she used it to her advantage to attack someone who was vulnerable and not really old enough to fully understand what was going on.
That's so crazy. Like,
Now,
what
I
I be
did-
thinking, you know, like, there's, I mean, the kid was 12, 2 to 13. That's insane. But some students, you know, like, I mean, no, but that's still, I mean, wow, that's just, wow. Like, the kid harmed him, like, wow, that's so sad. Is the kid okay? I mean, like, besides, you know, but, like, is that
did a
fool, like,
little
still
bit of
around?
Investigative research, and I found her personal website where she kept a few of her blog posts, and let's take a look at one of them. So here's my list of 10 things it's okay to feel or do when you turn 30, and I want to direct you to the number one thing on that list. 1, being excited about the future because your best years are yet to come. I don't even need to further elaborate on why this is hilarious given the circumstances, but let's wait and see what happens to this teacher. I'm sure she'll get a slap on the wrist, maybe a 5-year prison sentence, and after she'll go back to leading a completely normal life. I'm not really expecting much. Now, let's move on to a
Honestly,
story
which
that
is
is even
wrong about
crazier than this one. My
That's just
guy
society,
almost
though. What's wrong with
became a
society,
dad
honestly.
at the age of 13. So we have this teacher named Alexandria Vera. You can take a look at these selfies that she's taken. So this story is kind of wild. Be sure to pay attention now. It all began in the summer of 2015
She's Hispanic, ain't she?
when the boy was assigned to Vera's summer school class. The boy began flirting with her and asked for her Instagram username, but Vera refused to share the information with him. Okay, so that is
Okay, so homie was shooting his shot. Okay, so this is so in the first one, you know, the kid was manipulated. In this one though, homie's shooting his shot. I'm not saying that she, you know, it's good that she did this. It's not. Do not get my words. Don't try and twist this shit. All I'm saying though is like homie like was.
an adult is supposed to do. So far,
Right.
things are going to plan. Late summer 2015,
Good job.
Vera is informed that the boy has been assigned to her class for the upcoming school year, and once the school began, their flirtation continues. September 2015,
So they were flirting?
after noticing that the boy missed the class, Vera sends him a message via Instagram to check on him. The boy replies by asking for her phone number and attempting to arrange a meeting. She agrees to the meeting, they drive around and then kiss. The next day, they do it for the first time. At the school's open house, Vera meets the boy's parents for the first time on October 8th, 2015. A few days later, she goes to dinner at the boy's house and is introduced as his girlfriend. Early winter 2015-2016, the boy's parents accept the relationship and Vera is invited to several family gatherings. Their relationship hits another level and they start doing it every single day, and Vera comes to believe that she and the boy are in love. And in January of 2016, they found out that they were gonna have a kid, and the family was apparently very excited about this news. If my son comes home at the age of 13 and says that he's gonna be a dad, you know what? I'll tell you, I'm not gonna be a
13? 13?
have a kid, and the family was apparently very excited about this news. If my son comes home at the age of 13 and
Oh my god. Motherfucker, he just hit his teens. You know when you're hyped, you're like, you know, 10, 11, 12, you know, when you're a kid, you want to grow up and shit. And like, it's like, you know, 11, 12. And then 13, like your first teen year, you know, it's like, yeah, I'm a teen now. Fuck shit up. No, you're not. He's a dad? He's a dad. Who the fuck are his parents, by the way? Like, who the fuck? Bro, these motherfuckers must be dutted as I don't like, hey, homie can pull. You know, like, they gave him that, but, like, they're stupid. Like, they should not, like, they're stupid. Like, his She was invited to get, like, so when the teacher pulls up, you know what I'm saying, you're just eating, and then the kid's just like, hey, by the way, this is my girl. Like, the parents don't just, like, fucking, like, spaz.
that he's gonna be a dad. You know what? I'll tell you, I'm not gonna be a grandfather in my late 30s, early 40s. This teacher was really okay with having a 13-year-old being the father of her child. What in the hell has society come?
I mean, okay, yeah, I wasn't even thinking about her. I'm just thinking about the parents. Who gave you your parent permission slip? Like, who gave you your parenting license? Like, who the fuck? Like, the motherfuckers, like, some people are just not, like, should just not have kids. Like, it's just, like, how do you not just fucking spaz, bro? Like, I'd be like, yo, fucking Juanito, fucking Billy, bro, get the fuck in your room. And I'd be like, yo, bitch, like, what are you doing? Like, not even before the kid, just literally, like, your guys are dating, like, she got so lucky with it, bro. I would've, I mean, okay, not me, but I would've been like, yo, honey, like, slap the shit out this bitch. Like, what? What are you doing? She's fired. She's gone. Like, wow, like, the way shit just, like, set itself up. Like, stars aligned for this teacher, for this woman, for, like, how, like, there's so, like, don't you think she was tripping? Like, she was probably like, yo, you really want to, like, introduce me as your girlfriend? Like, shit, like, fuck, I'm gonna get clapped. Like, first of all, she wasn't tweaking about that. I'm thinking she was, but then again, this bitch is stupid, so she probably was. She was like, oh, yeah, this is normal. But then, like, the fact that, like, you know, he introduced her, and then, like, they were cool? Like, they were just chilling? Like, what? You don't think she was like, oh, no, don't do that. And then as soon as the parent was like, oh, that's what's up. Like, no, Bill. And then, like, don't you think she'd be, like, stupid relief? Because, like, shouldn't she have been like, yo, like, I'm gonna lose, like, my life. Like, I'm going to prison. Like, like, I'm gonna let the video play out. What the fuck?
The prosecutor in this case said that's absolutely false.
Damn, she's kind of bad.
What the fuck? Prosecutor in this case said that's absolutely false, citing that Vera moved in with the victim's father in an effort to help
Society come to?
But the prosecutor in this case said that's absolutely false, citing that Vera moved in with the victim's father in an effort to hide the relationship she was actually having with the victim.
The dad was hitting it on the side for sure. There's no other.
She labeled Vera as emotionally needy with a combination of someone who has an urge to be a strong nurturer. Now, the prosecutor said that the victim also, that Vera also has a 6-year-old child, and that 6-year-old was calling this 13-year-old victim in this case her dad.
All right, man. So this woman only got sentenced to 10 years in prison, and not only that, but her 6-year-old thought that the 13-year-old was her dad.
They could have been having play dates, bro. They could have literally been playing fucking Legos. Okay, I mean, maybe not the 6-year-old, because he would have, like, popped them, like, you know, in his nose or something. Okay, actually, not. I think Legos are like 4+. That's besides the point. The point is, so this kid basically had a child. I mean, like, he was a stepdad. He was a stepdad at 12. Like, he already had a kid before even 13. Then he just got another one. It was just like +1. Like, what?
On top of that, her attorney was able to use the argument that she was emotionally needy. If
Oh my
Alexandria was a man, that attorney would have lost his license to practice law the moment those words came out of his mouth. These kinds of arguments are only acceptable if the person who's doing the crime is a woman. It reminds me of another
That motherfucker would have lost his license. They'd be like, are you stupid?
case similar to the two we just looked at, where a lawyer used this argument to the judge to place Debbie into a Florida State Women's Penitentiary to place an attractive young woman
Famously said LaFay Blum shouldn't go
in that kind of hellhole is like putting a piece of raw meat in with the lions. Again, this was another teacher doing extracurricular activities with her student. The sad part is the judge agreed with the lawyer and she got 0 years in prison. In each of these stories, if we replace the female teacher with a male teacher and replace the boys with girls, we all know how we'd react. We would be absolutely appalled. That guy would have to make sure that the soap stays dry and he doesn't have slippery hands. We have to keep it consistent. No matter how attractive these teachers are, at the end of the day,
that is a judge said that is the stupid.
They were adults doing things with kids. There are thousands.
If she's so pretty, she should have gone like some fucking, like, you know, grown
men who would be willing to go on a date. You shouldn't be giving them any sort of leniency. Some, not all, but I'm sure some of the victims in these stories could grow up thinking that it's okay for an adult to date a kid, and that could be disastrous. The psychological damage in many of these cases is a lot more complex and deeper than we may think. Now, I want to quickly talk about something called pretty privilege. I mentioned this at the
That
beginning
is
of
true.
the video.
It's a
Imagine
real thing.
if each of the teachers in these stories looked like this thing. I feel like everyone's reaction would be a lot different. And the reason for that is hot girls can get away with way more than any of the rest of us. There were times
That's literally like psychologically that is facts. Pretty people, like good looking people, get more leniency, get more just like treated better. It's just a fact. This sounds shallow, right? It does, but it's true. Like everyone does it. Even in like the littlest things in your like your daily life, you could notice it. That you partake in it, whether you hate it or not. Now, if people are gonna be like, "No, that's not true. I don't do it. No, that's so fun." Shut up. You don't stop. You like it's stop. Like stop. You sound stupid, basically. Yeah, like pretty females. I mean, females already get more than like dudes. That's just a fact too. If you want to come at, stop. Just fuck it. Like you sound stupid. Like if you're really trying to argue with me. Like girls already now. If you're a pretty girl, like you said, like than any of us, like anybody else, pretty females. It's true.
Times back when I was in high school, a lot of these chicks would be
It's true.
coming into class 20 to 30 minutes late, straight D's on their report cards. They'd be sitting in the back of class on their phone at all times. But me, I came to class on time every day. I was near top of the class when it came to grades, yet I would be the one that's getting yelled at, getting kicked out of class for far less. I know for a fact that I'm not the only one who's
What's gonna
gone
go
through
down?
this type of injustice. Pretty girls have some kind of magic spell that lets them get away with a lot of things. But anyways, that's all I have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please be sure to hit the like button and
That was pretty
subscribe. If
goofy.
you haven't already, please be sure to follow me on Twitch and Twitter. The links are down in the
thought
description
he was gonna use a
below. So with
lightsaber
all
and just
that
go
being
like-
said, I hope you guys
like-
have a great rest of your day. See you guys in the next video. Peace.
I got 2 30s, only one got a beam, the other one make your ass fall asleep. I'm counting money that I send over.